Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Canada Immigration Live Q&A today. We've been flipping back and forth between express entry and immigration generally. Today is open season. So today, I'm Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer. I'm going to talk with all of you. Oh, give me a second. I need to add some more light in this establishment here. I didn't even realize I had the light off. Sometimes when you're working so early in the morning and the sun comes up, then it starts to slowly, gradually add light that you didn't even know you had. So anyways, it's great to have everyone here. It's great to be here after having a wonderful night's sleep last night. Last night, I'll tell you, the last couple nights, I've been up till, I don't even know how late. It's been crazy. It's been so busy in the office. We've been growing. I interviewed 2 new lawyers Monday and Tuesday, which I'm really excited about because it's going to start to stretch our presence across the country. And I'm hoping that that things will potentially work out with the various lawyers that I'm interviewing to join our firm, which is really exciting because the more lawyers I can get, the more time I can devote to doing these kinds of things. So welcome everybody who's tuning in. Once again, I'm Mark Holthe. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer, and this is the Canadian Immigration Institute live Q&A that I do every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I've just completed my last express entry step-by-step course with masterclass that was finished up on last Friday. So I've had a little bit of time to recover and to reset for, well, really for a week off that I'm really looking forward to through the Easter break. And the kids have school off, and so I'm actually taking next week off. Well, theoretically, I'm taking it off because I'm actually building out my spousal sponsorship course. So I'm starting to record the videos for the spousal sponsorship course in the same way that I did when I created the express entry course. So those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, all these courses, if you go over here, and I'll just slide this over. Let's see, we'll cancel that. I think everybody can hear me okay. If I slide over here to our main site right here, and let me just pull this back just a little bit, you'll see that the Canadian Immigration Institute site is where we house our step-by-step courses. And so if you click on see our courses, and there's a link in the description below, it will take you right here to the Express Entry 2021 step-by-step course. And if you click learn more, you can do exactly that. You can learn all about this course that we're promoting. And right now, as of this moment, the cart is closed. So when you click on learn more and you go into the landing page here, you will see that the cart, there's an explanation, and I show you what's in there and everything, but you can get notified when the registration opens. So sometime April, May is what we're shooting. The reality is if there's enough people that click on this link and leave their email, then I'll open it up. The last course we had was a little bit smaller cohort. And I'll be honest, I found it really tough because the course is so comprehensive that when we got to the live sessions, you know, everybody asked all their questions and then they ran out of questions. And so really, I really need probably around 50 people going through at the same time to afford the ability to have a master class where lots of questions are asked. Because in the midst of those questions, you as a viewer or you as a subscriber of that master class can benefit from all the questions that everyone else asks. But the course is so comprehensive and so complete that when you watch all of those videos and you use all of the resources and the tools that are associated with the course, well, there isn't really a lot left to ask. And so I found the last week of the 2-week masterclass was me scrambling to figure out things to teach them. So because of that, I've decided that I'm going to hold off until I've got a big group of people that are piled up. So if you are one of the Feb 13ers that are going through because you were drawn on draw 176, and you're just at the stage now where you're starting to finalize the collection of your documents and you're really looking for a resource to help you make sure that those last pieces of the process are correct, this course right here can help you through that whole process. And the beauty of it is, I'm going to cancel this. The beauty of this whole process is that when you go through and you take this course, included with all of the videos and lifetime access, you get access to me personally in a private Facebook group where every day we go on for an hour and I answer your questions, those little questions that maybe you haven't been able to locate in the course, or you're something about your situation that's just a little bit different. That's where we can ask them. But in this live Q&A right here, I can never dive in very deep with your questions. And I can see there's a ton of people that are piling in. The questions are starting to pile in. And as always, you guys, please post in the comments where you're tuning in from. I love to see all over the world where people are watching this. It's amazing. Me in little old Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, broadcasting from my home, I have the ability to reach people all over the world. As long as they have a broadband connection and can watch a video, you can participate. So let's see who we've got here. Ralph, as always, steady Ralph. We've got Chinmay, good to see you. This person's got a big smiley face, and unfortunately that I cannot read. Good morning, Chinmay. We've got Sayema, good to have you with us here. And Gautam, hello Gautam, welcome. We've got Gail over in Belgium, a frequent viewer, good to see you. We've got Abdu, hey, what's up, my friend, who was a former subscriber to the course, right, Abdu? And I think you were 2 previous versions that you went through. And Abdu and everybody else who took the course has got a full lifetime access to everything in here. And it's interesting, if we go down here on the landing page and you look down here, you will see that we have a number of testimonials, including Abdu here. This $347 has a great ROI. And if you think this is too much, count how much you paid for coffee for a month, then see how much a scammy agent asks for, then see the value. So Abdu, you're awesome. You are so cool, dude. All right. So like I said, if you're interested in connecting in, all you have to do is go back here and click on this link right here, get notified. And as soon as I've got enough critical mass, then I will launch the course again. And I can tell you, I absolutely love it. It is so much fun. There's nothing I love more than teaching. And most of you know that I am a Canadian immigration lawyer, a former immigration officer. I worked on the border. I also worked with the hearings officers downtown in Calgary when I was going through law school. And I was a former high school teacher. So I take all of these things and I pull them all together to really do the things that I love most, which is to teach. And so, yeah, so this is awesome. Okay, this is awesome. For how long I keep writing and you ignore? Well, I guess you keep writing as long as you have questions that are specific. If they're specific and only relate to you, my friend, I will ring that bell. And that's a signification that you need to go over here and go to the Holthe Immigration Law website and click on book a consult right here. And there's a link below. So that may be one of the reasons why I'm not answering your question, my friend. Also, if you ask a question that I've already covered by someone else, well, I'm also going to skip past. So we'll see if you ask a question that's general in nature, that's of benefit to everybody that's watching. And if it's only relevant to you, or it's something that's very, very specific that would require legal advice and a whole bunch more information, then that's why I skip past your question. And then I direct you over here to the Holthe Immigration Law website, where you can click on book a consult right here. And it will take you to our website with the lawyers that we have, which are quickly going to be expanding. And you can click on any of these links and you can book your own consult, find the time that's available. And you can see March is basically over. So view next month is what I click, and then the availability. And you can see I have personally blocked off the consults for next week. And I do my consults on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And if you can't find one from me, then you go back and then you click on Alicia, or you click on Susan, and you can see, obviously we're at the end of the month, and you can see Alicia has availability on days that I don't. And so there's always someone there to help you. And this is what we love to do more than anything. All right, so that's why, and that's a little opportunity to kind of teach. Okay, here's a good question. Ramadeep says, I'm Ramadeep. Kaur from India, tell us the best PNP for immigration. Well, every PNP is different. And some of the things that make one provincial nominee program better than another really depend on you, Ramandeep. It depends on your background, your qualifications. But as far as I'm concerned, the best PNP for immigration, well, it's hard because there's people that are inside Canada and people that are outside Canada. If I was to say what province has the best provincial nominee program in the country, if you are here working in that country, well, working in that province, I would say Alberta. I think Alberta, the Alberta Opportunity Stream, is the best program for individuals that are working in the province because Alberta nominates low-wage individuals, low-skill positions, NOC C and D. And so many of the other provinces don't. Alberta has avenues open for postgrad work permit holders, and many of the other provincial nominee programs that all of you go to, BC, Ontario, even Montreal, Montreal is really focused on those that speak French. So that's not a good program at all. It's not a provincial nominee program. Quebec has their own program. But I would say for individuals that are looking to go there, if you don't speak French, then don't waste your time. In fact, I had a consultation with someone yesterday who's accepted to school in Quebec. And I told them, look, you really, really shouldn't bother going there. You should think of going to one of the Atlantic provinces. Go to one of the provinces where people are not piling in, where there isn't this tremendous competition. And the last piece, like I said, is there's provinces that require you, to really have a chance, you have to have an LMIA-based work permit where you're working. And then there's other provinces like Saskatchewan that if your human capital is high enough, then you can immigrate directly. Now, Alberta used to have, and they're probably going to reopen it again, an express entry stream where they brought in individuals with scores as low as 300. So you can see all of them have different pros and cons. Some provinces have entrepreneur programs. Alberta is starting to roll it out a little bit, but it's not quite here. BC and Ontario have them. So you can see, Ramandeep, I could talk for hours on this topic, but it really comes down to you. And understand that right now with the pandemic, there's not a lot happening for people outside of Canada looking to immigrate directly in. Things have slowed down definitely, and we are truly, truly hoping that things are going to open up. Okay, Malak says hello from Morocco. Awesome, great to have you, Malak. Okay, Abdul says, did you see the latest draw? Thank you, Abdul. Let's flip over and let's take a look, because this is what you guys want to talk about all the time, more than anything. So here we go. Draw IRCC. That's probably enough. So let's open it up and let's see. Drum roll, drum roll. All right, so here we go. We scroll down, and as of today, March 31st. Okay, what do we have here? We have a provincial nominee program draw. The number of invitations issued were only 284. Why only 284? Well, because there were a vast number of people that were drawn out from this one right here. Okay, so tons of people that would have otherwise gone through the provincial nominee programs have been drawn into the Canadian Experience class with the lowest ever 75 total, 27,332. So those individuals there are one of the reasons why right here we have a draw total that is so low, 284. This just happened today, March 31st, hot off the press. Thank you for letting me know. And you can see here that this was only a provincial nominee program draw. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean for everybody? Well, the only way we can really create context to this is to go back and take a look at the previous rounds. So if we look at the previous rounds, let's take a look at the pattern. So you can see when we started this year, the last open draw was last year, December 23rd. 5,000 people extended an invitation, and there was a series of 5,000. It dropped down to 468. I will tell you that during this period of time, immigration genuinely thought that things were going to open up, that the orders in council were going to allow people to travel. And so they started issuing these draws through this period of time to all candidates. There was no program specified, which means everybody is open, whether you're a PNP, whether you are a Canadian Experience class candidate, excuse me, or whether you're a federal skilled worker or federal skilled trade. No restrictions. But starting in January, then they started a pattern. Provincial nominee on Wednesday, Canadian experience class on Thursday. Okay, and if I look at my calendar, I'm pretty sure that is the case. I'm going to take a quick peek here because I'm almost sure that's the case, that it was Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm going to just open up my calendar here, and I'm going to take a look and just make sure that I'm not fibbing here. So let's go back to January. Yes, the 6th was a Wednesday and the 7th is a Thursday. Okay, so now knowing that, which I knew that was the case. So Wednesday was provincial nominee. Thursday was Canadian experience class. See, it alternated. And you see the low numbers, 250, 374 for the PNPs. Then we go to January 21st, Canadian experience class, 4,600. You can see it was always right around 5,000, a little bit lower. Then they did a February 10th of 654. And what did they do? Immigration realized, my goodness, we are so far under our quota. We are so far under what we have to meet that 108,000 plus landings for the economic programs, FSW, FST, CEC. Those programs, we are so far under that we're simply not going to do it now that we realize the borders are not opening anytime soon. So it took them a few days to figure out exactly how they were going to do this, but then someone decided, open up the doors. February the 13th, this one right here, 27,332.75. This occurred on a Saturday. And the reason was because they were probably trying to figure out, how the heck do we do this? What is it going to break? What problems is it going to cause? That was the question when they made the decision to do 27,332. So then what we saw over the next month, that they did not do another CEC draw. They only did PNPs, 671, 183, and then finally back on March the 18th again, they did another CEC, but they've restricted it. Now, I will tell you, over time, and I knew that they were probably going to do this. I remember when we did this on March the 17th, I told you guys that they were likely going to do another draw the very next day. I personally thought that it would drop down to about 350 if they did a bigger scoop and they invited more people, but instead they restricted it to 5,000. And what that meant was the score only went down to 449. And I'll be honest, going forward, I personally do not think that they are going to do another massive draw like this. Why? Because those draws, that massive draw, this one right here, completely gutted some of the provincial nominee programs. They rely on the people in Canada to go through their programs. And who are the people that all the provincial nominee programs are relying upon, generally speaking, when they are extending nominations? Well, it's everybody that is below this level here. Everybody that's below 454 points. Everybody that's below 449 points. Okay? And so when they did this massive draw to drop it down to 75, they essentially, except for the people who didn't get their didn't have profiles in, it completely gutted many people that would have gone through the PNPs. In fact, many of them probably already had PNP nominations extended, and now immigration had given them a fast track that they're probably going to abandon their paper-based PNPs. So after they realized that, after the full ramifications occurred because they did not tell the PNPs that they were going to do this, then you can see on March the 17th, 682, on March 18th, 5,000. So Wednesday PNP, Thursday CEC. Today, March 31st, 282. So what does this mean for April the 1st? Unless there's going to be some kind of a joke, and I'll advise you guys, tomorrow in Canada is our April Fool's Day where we play pranks on each other. I'm pretty sure that IRCC is not going to play a prank and say, hey, we've decided to open it up to every federal skilled worker program applicant in the world, and we're going to nominate 200,000 people. Let's take a look here. I'm pretty sure this is not what they're going to do, although it would be a very cruel April Fool's Day joke. There are 165,000 people with profiles in the pool as of 2 days ago, March 31st. So can you imagine April the 1st if, because it's April Fool's Day, remember, and I'll shift this over here, March 29th, there were, you can see 165,476 people in the pool before they did this last draw, which theoretically would then drop it down to about 100 and, well, still 165,000 basically, because they only drew out just a few, 284 right here. So it would be just crazy if they came out and said, we're extending invitations to every single person who submits, who's in the pool under any program, any category, and we are extending it to 165,000 people. Now that would be the craziest April Fool's joke of all. I can tell you guys that that's not going to happen. But what we can see from this is, if you're watching this, you're wondering whether or not you should get your profile into the pool and you're in Canada, based on what we see with the previous rounds, there is a significant chance that as of tomorrow, we are going to see on April the 1st, a Canadian Experience class draw. And I'm assuming it's probably going to be about 5,000 again. If that is the case, I am going to guess that the score is probably, because we only had a short period of time since we did the last one. So February the 13th to March 18th, they did 5,000. So 5,000 people essentially all piled in, and some with many high scores at 449. If they're to do another one on April the 1st, I'm going to think that those scores are going to drop down around 440. It's possible they could drop down to the 430s if they did another 5,000 draw. That is possible. And it could be even a little bit lower if they do another big one. But we'll just have to see what happens. So get your profiles in. If you need any help, we're here to help. All you have to do is shift over, go book a consult. We can jump on with any of you and make sure that your profile is correct. Link is also in the description below. All right. Okay, let's see what else we have going on. Okay, Gurjeet, hello. Pearl's saying hello. I love that name, Pearl Moxie. That is awesome. That is the coolest name. Okay, from Bahamas. Oh, I think all of us Canadians would love to be down there with you, Pearl, right now. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So Jasmeet's asking a question. Okay, under SDS, do I need to include other fund docs? Apart from GIC and tuition fee receipt for 1 year post-grad, and do I need to mention how my mother will live while I am away? Right here is a ringer. So the reason I'm ringing that, Jasmeet, is because this question relates specifically to you, and I don't know if I can pull anything out of there to actually make it of use to everybody else in the group. Those are the triggers, okay? So when it comes to settlement funds, you guys know my source of all goodness and all source of all information, if I go back here, is the Completeness Check website. So if you're new to watching these and you have not seen me demonstrate and show you guys this before, you go to the Completeness Check website, and it is a great resource for what you need when you're establishing your proof of funds. So in here, I just search for funds, and it takes me right down to proof of funds, and you will see it tells you exactly what you need. You need a letter, an official one from the institution that lists all current bank and investment accounts, as well as outstanding debts such as credit card debts and loans. If someone says, oh, you only need to include the information from the one bank account that you have the settlement funds in, you don't need to disclose anything else, they're lying. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. I highly recommend that you fire them, or for every purpose possible, do not under any circumstance trust what they're telling you, okay? Because I'm showing you right here, right? We're looking at this directly ourselves. I'll get myself lined up a little better. We're looking at directly the information right here, and it says that you need to do it. Okay, it must be printed on the letterhead of the institution, include your name, financial institution, the account numbers, the date each was opened, current balances, as well as the average balance for the past 6 months. Excuse me. And so in conjunction with this answer, and that's the best that I can give you, Jasmeet, you'll need to book a consult to dive into all the other specifics. But what I can tell you guys is that you don't need to have those funds in your account for the whole 6 months. If you do, great. Great. If you've had them in there and they've been there for 6 months, great. That's wonderful. But if they can see how you've saved the funds, they've been building up, and they're a part of your income, they're a part of your wages, they're a part of your earnings, they're a part of your savings, then that's what you do, okay? That's what is going to allow you to satisfy immigration that you're doing things properly, okay? All right, good question, good question. Okay, we've got Sam over in Toronto. Greetings to you. Let's see here. Yes, so Louis, you copers, I understand, can't land. Injustice from the minister. Louis, completely misguided. Completely misguided. If you want to target someone, who I want you to target, Louis, is the Prime Minister of Canada and Public Health Canada. Okay, those are the two entities. You guys who are glorifying Justin Trudeau, you point the finger at him. Stop pointing it at Marco Mendicino. Okay, he does not determine. He does not determine. I'm going to repeat one more time. He does not determine whether or not Canada's borders are going to open or not. The orders in council, okay, are determined by cabinet. They're determined by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his cabinet. These are decisions made in concert with public health. It's not Canada Border Service Agency or IRCC. So those of you on Twitter who are lambasting Minister Mendicino, if you guys had any clue what immigration has done over this last year to try to accommodate, to try to make things possible, to do workarounds in light of this pandemic that they have had no control over, even this separation of families, you know, that whole area, you know, when it comes to copers, yeah, you guys are stuck. You know, what could immigration do? They could open up special visas for spouses. They could open up a visa, just like the super visa for parents. They could do the same for a spouse who was subject to a spousal sponsorship. The refusal rates from certain countries are high. And because of that, well, I shouldn't say the refusal rates, the fraud rate within the context of spousal sponsorships is high in some countries. And so if you're coming from a country and you are being sponsored and your application is being delayed and there's all kinds of things holding things up, it is because in many cases, there are high rates of fraud, people cheating. Oh my goodness. The people that scam the system. I get consults virtually every week with people that have used someone who's told them to lie or cheat or misrepresent, and now they want to try to fix it. And often there's nothing that I can do. Do not lie. Do not submit fraudulent documents. Okay, that's the first part. But what could immigration do? They could issue a facilitative visa to allow spouses to travel. But understand, under the border restrictions, under the orders in council, even if you have a confirmation of permanent residence and you're a COPR holder, you can't travel, not because IRCC doesn't want you to, but because the orders in council, Prime Minister Trudeau is the one who is keeping you out. So make sure you target your anger and your frustration, especially you, Louis, to the right person. It is not Minister Mendicino. All right, Ramesh, I'm doing awesome, my friend. Greetings to you, Jasmeet. Yes. Okay, Aneep's up in Northeast Calgary. Good to see you, Aneep. Siddharth is here. Abdul says, or every 8 o'clock evening on Wednesday, GST timing. That's right. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here's a classic example. So Gurjeet is saying, I've received an NOI from the OINP CRS 465, but now I have increased my CRS to 472. Should I continue with the OINP? In every situation, I always continue forward with everything, every opportunity that I've had, because Gurjeet, there is no guarantees. No guarantees of anything. If you have one bird in your hand, okay, and you see two birds in the bush, you're not going to let go of this one in your hand to go after the two that are in the bush. What I mean by that is if you've got one option, the ONP, you know it's going to take a long time, but you've got it. It's there. And you see the possibility of express entry because your score is high enough. And you decide you're going to relinquish this guaranteed option, although nothing is guaranteed, but a secure option to pursue another one. Never, ever, ever do that until the provincial nominee program, like the OINP, forces you to make a decision. So you're going to proceed forward. You're going to submit your application to the OINP. I don't care if it costs a little bit more money. Even if the processing fee is a little bit more and you think you're going to relinquish it, I don't care. Pursue every option that's available to you. And when you get that invitation to apply, continue forward with that path. There will be a stage that the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, if they see that your profile is locked, that you've received an ITA, and they have not yet issued that nomination, they will make you choose. And then at that stage, you have to make a decision. But understand, when it comes to express entry, when it comes to immigrating to Canada, when it comes to permanent residence in any form, I never let go of anything that I have in terms of options. I approach every option as a backup that I possibly can. So that's the answer. Okay. All right, keep going. It's good to see you, Amit. Ralph says, no light is okay. You always are a light in the dark. Thanks. That's so funny. Okay, I appreciate that, Ralph. Okay, let's see here. All right. Okay, Ramesh is talking now about what some of you are getting, which is something that we've all known. Some of you are losing your status bars. Those bars were useless. They meant nothing. The bars were not client specific. They were not applicant specific. The only thing those bars meant was that from the date you filed your application, you would reach 100% no matter where your application was at after 6 months. The bar traveled based on actual time, and it was not specific to your exact situation. The only reason they did that was to stop people from calling and asking why their application wasn't approved after 3 months. So that bar served no purpose whatsoever other than confirming how long temporally along the timeline your application had been submitted. Pretty much everybody hit 100%. So instead of continuing with this fiction that 6 months was the processing time, they've now let everybody know that whether you're a family class, whether you're express entry, whether you're in other economic classes, that everything is going to take a long time. And that's all that they're doing. So people are getting those letters in their email that informs them that the status bar is being removed. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it comes back. It's a mess. The whole portal's a gong show. Every other day, it seems like the stupid thing is broken. We can't access it. The government's working on it. Personally, I think they're not working fast enough. The glitches, the problems that everybody's experiencing, all of you are experiencing, trying to work within your MyCICA portal is just not acceptable. They need to do a better job. And this is where I will be hard on them. If they are offering something to the world, if they are offering an online system that's to their benefit for efficiency, then that thing needs to work and there's no excuses. They knew it was old. If the system, which was created in the early 2000s, literally, the inception was 2000, 2001, 2002. That's when they started thinking about this. My goodness. That kind of technology is old. It's going to break. It's not going to be compatible. And so they could have planned better. They should have planned better. Now it's an ugly, horrible thing to navigate. And you all know what I'm talking about. You can give me a thumbs up if you agree. So that's one thing where I will be very critical of IRCC. They could have done better. So they need to institute resources to make sure that this thing works until they transition, which projections are maybe 2 to 7 years into the future, working on building out a new one. And yes, there's a lot of data. You're a government. You are, this is Canada, where hundreds of thousands of people probably millions of people want to immigrate. Okay, so you have to assume that that's going to be the case. All right. Okay, and I'll just answer Sheiks. I'll answer Sheiks once. I'll ring the bell, and I'll just generally say, if you're asking about how do I qualify, what do I need to do in order to immigrate, what are my best options? Those questions are all these kind of questions, specific legal questions that require me to know a whole lot more about you. So I'll direct you over to book a consultation in our website. The link is below. And anyone else that's asking very specific questions like that, I'm going to direct you to do the same thing. Okay. All right. Keep cruising on here. Okay. This is a good question. Do you think the validity dates of IELTS or French exams will increase beyond 2 years because of COVID? At this stage, I don't see that happening. I really don't. But we are seeing that immigration is starting to consider extending the medicals. So we're seeing some reports that they're starting to extend medicals for not 1 year, but up to 2 years. There hasn't been an official policy that I've seen for sure, but for language tests, you guys, if you notice that your tests are starting to expire and you have not yet received your invitation to apply, then start booking, okay? Start making sure that you are getting ready to rewrite the exam. You know that they're only valid for 2 years. So start booking, start scheduling, start doing whatever you need to do to make sure that those don't expire. Okay. George, another person. This is George Cosma. Let's see. I think you're on here too, aren't you, George? I love it when you guys come back here. Let's see here. Okay, here's George. He says, this course is worth a lot more than $400. I would have needed to book 10 consults to ask all the questions I had. My goodness, George was crazy. He was a crazy dude. He asked so many questions. It was awesome. George, after this last group where I didn't have anything to answer, I burned through the questions so fast. I am so grateful for you, my friend, because some questions emerge as you listen to others. Yes, so definitely recommend this course while it is available. And like I pointed out, you guys, right now it's not. So once we get enough people that have expressed interest, then I will launch it. And for those of you who are the Feb 13ers that are in a position right now where you are starting to finalize your applications, this is the ideal course for you. If there's enough that leave their emails and express interest, then I'll open it up again. Okay. All right. So back here to George. Oh, George, you're awesome. Okay. So George says, I'm applying under the public policy for postgrad. Will they issue it for 18 months only or for 2 years because my original postgrad work permit was issued for 1 year only due to passport expiry date limit? George, I don't think they're going to issue it for the full amount, okay? I think in your situation, they're probably only going to issue it for the 18 months, but you are in good shape, and I don't anticipate that being an issue for you. Remember, with your express entry, you can always go through the bridge if that postgrad work permit needs to be extended and you've got your PR application in the queue. Okay. So, but in your situation, I think their system is really not designed to contemplate for that extension. It's possible, like it's possible, but my feeling is that they will probably only issue it for the 18 months, but you should be good to go, George. Right now in Canada, we're looking at about 9 months processing time for express entry applications, roughly right around 9. Some are a little bit sooner, some are later, but that's the overall. All right, let's keep zooming through here. Okay, it's Marwan. Hello, Marwan from Libya. Excellent. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Okay. All right. Okay, so Amandeep says, I want to study in Winnipeg. Please help to get admission to September intake with BCom completion with IELTS. Ring the bell right there, Amandeep. Push you over here. Click on this site right here, book a consult. If you go to the home page, you can learn all about our firm, everything that we do. We are really different than most firms. We provide a collaborative process. So what makes our immigration law firm special, you can watch this video. When you go to About Us, you can click on Approach right here, and it will talk all about our collaborative review model and how what we do is just different than everybody else there in the market. This is what we focus in. We don't just on occasion do application reviews for people. This is what we do all the time, but we don't just review it. We give you the tools and the information and the help to prepare and to get everything set up. And then we step in and go through everything with you so that when you file, you know that you've looked at it, we've looked at it together. And you might miss something, and I might miss something if I'm looking on my own. But the likelihood of us both missing something is astronomically low. And that's why I have taken on this whole new model of representation when I represent people. Okay. Okay. Anything related to borders? One thing I'll just post the comment here from Malak. The reality is, until we see the borders open, we're not going to see any movement. We're not. Okay. Until we see the borders start to open, the orders in council change. That's what's restricting people. Okay. So I said, I think it could go down if they do another CEC tomorrow, 5,000. If they do just 5,000, it's entirely possible it dips below 440, maybe into the 338, 339 range. It's entirely possible. That's my predictions. Okay. Yeah. And we've talked about lots of people asking about whether immigration is going to open it up. Watch the Canadian news. Okay. They're the first ones, it seems like, that have notification of what's going to happen with orders in council. Watch the news, watch the Prime Minister. Remember, he's the one, he's responsible. He makes the decisions in concert with public health, not immigration, not the border. Okay. Zipping through here. Okay. All right. Let's pull this one up. I get one of these a lot as well. Okay. So Usman says, greetings, great work, my man. I will give you one of these, Usman. Thank you for the vote of gratitude. I appreciate it. Okay, PNP, Outland, AOR, order GCMS, says officer review required. Please review triage factor R87. Rest all it says okay. Valid. What is triage factor R87? Kindly help. This is where I bring this one right here, Usman. I would need to look at a ton of other things to determine. R87 is regulation 87, okay? And what people are, and this is, and you know what, I can't even guarantee that that's R187. But if we go here, I'll show you. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a lesson, okay? So we're going to flip it over here. Okay, so here is the Immigration and Refugee Protection Regulation. So whatever issue that they're asking, if this is the case, you can see here, class R87, for the purposes of subsection 12.2 of the Act, the provincial nominee class is hereby prescribed as a class of persons who may become permanent residents on the basis of their ability to become economically established in Canada. That issue right there relates specifically to your current work, often, whether or not you have a job offer and you've lost it, whether or not you can demonstrate that you can economically establish in that province. So where it goes from there, Usman, it depends upon your entire situation. Have you lost your job? Have you, the job offer supporting your PNP nomination, is it gone? Like, what are the factors? That often are the things. So I'm going to ring that bell. I'm going to flip my screen over here. I'm going to pull up right here, book a consult. That's where you're going to go. And then we can take a look at this. We can talk about it and we can see where you go from here. We are immigration lawyers at Holthe Immigration Law. Right here, we are immigration lawyers. The team of lawyers that I have here have been doing this for a collective, I don't know what, like 30 years, I guess, between the three of us, maybe more. Alicia and I are both like 16, 17 years, I guess almost 40 by the time you add in Susan. So this is all we have been doing. And this is where, when it comes to the law, when it comes to these issues, when people run into problems, that's when they call us. That's when they book consultations. So if you have got issues, if you've got these problems, this is why you go to an immigration lawyer, okay? That's why I created the course here, because you guys often don't go to immigration lawyers at the beginning. You are DIYers at heart. You wouldn't be here watching this if you weren't. And this is why the course that I offer, which if you click on here to get notified about the registration, This is designed to have you guys all share collectively in the cost of accessing me, my experience, my knowledge directly. That masterclass that's associated with all of these 56 odd lessons. And you know what? I'm going to flip those of you who have never seen this, don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to log in here. I'm going to sign in. I'm going to open up Access. And if you watch that video, it will show you as well. But in here, I have 56 individual videos. If we go to completing the EAPR process, what is it? Well, if you go into this section right here and you click on any of these videos, you will see that each one is made up of an individual video. This one here is 21 minutes alone, okay? And in here, it has instructions, guidance, direction. I have a specific module dedicated exclusively to documents, mastering your documents. In here, I cover every topic you could imagine. Records of employment, lesson 43. Once again, when you look at it, this one is 23 minutes long. There are a ton of resources. Tools to help you calculate your hours of work for CEC or the FSW program. The record of employment checklist you can use yourself or give to your employer. What if you can't get a reference letter? I've got a separate little handout for that. I have my awesome NOC selection tool, which is designed to help you choose your proper NOC. And what else do I have? Well, I'm scrolling here. I'm scrolling. 30 sample reference letters so that you guys can see that the way your reference letter looks is completely irrelevant. Every single one of these past clients that I've redacted those reference letters all shows you that the form of your reference letter is irrelevant. It's what is contained in it. And within here, you can see I have tons of pro tips, examples, explanations for all of these. So that's why when I do these master classes, people run out of questions. And that's why I really don't do them until I wait till I get about 50 people in them. Because then everybody benefits, just like if I flip back here again and I go to the, I guess I have to go all the way back. I won't. Just like George said, we'll leave it at that. Okay, let's zip. We got about 8 minutes left. Let's keep zipping through here. Okay, let's see here. Haha. Okay. Ripu says, hey, good morning. Once we link the file and send the cancel the rep form via web form, how long it takes to get full authority of our profile and remove the email to the representative? You should be able to get access really quickly if you've entered the right information in. Then it should locate yours and should allow you to pull that in. As far as canceling that representative, if you pull it back to your own portal, then unless that representative is crooked and evil, and I've seen some who go back and create some fake profile again and pull it back again, which you better sue those buggers, because we've had someone who's done this. You have the right to control your process, not them. And I also want to give you guys another tip. Those who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, or even YouTube, know that these live Q&As are only one thing that you have access to. Remember, within here, I have tons of information. So you can see Canadian Immigration Live. These lives happen all the time, but there is a ton of other videos that I produce all the time on this site that are not the live streams. And I want to point out here that within here, I have playlists. And within the playlists, I have specific sections. So if I go to, let's go to Express Entry right here, and I click on Express Entry. Okay, we'll stop that ad. And you look in here, let's open this up. Looks like it pulled up the recent one. This list here of other videos, you'll see that I actually have one right here that's called, this one is called How to Fire Your Consultant and Take Back Your Express Entry Profile. For all intents and purposes, you could substitute that with any representative that's awful, that's not helping you. The reason that I list consultants is right now the regulator is useless. The regulator is not doing anything to protect you. Hopefully, changes are occurring, changes are happening that are going to protect you. And so when it comes to a consultant, you create your own profile And this instructional video right here literally shows you each step of the way how to go in, how to set up your own thing. It's free. There's no charge. And you can go and follow all of the steps, even how to fill out the form to cancel the representative and to take it back. The reason I put consultant here is because, and there's a very important reason why I listed a consultant and I didn't list lawyers there. Because for lawyers, if you have any problems or you have any concerns with that lawyer, then you go to the Law Society and you report them to the Law Society of the province in which they're at. If they are not representing you properly, if they are doing a horrible job, if they're hiding your profile from you, not giving you information, if they've mismanaged your file in any way, you go directly to that Law Society, you find that lawyer, you figure out whether or not, and you make sure that they're actually a lawyer, because many times that consultant pretends like they're a lawyer when they're not. So you can determine if they are. If they're not, then follow the process that I've showed you here. But if they're a lawyer, you go to the Law Society and there's always a complaint. So you can file a complaint against a lawyer. And this is important. I want to show you guys this because lots of times the consultants, and there are lots of good ones out there, but there are lots of crappy ones too. They say, oh, Mark, you're always so critical of consultants. Well, freaking yes, I am, because the regulator does nothing to protect people. Why? Because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've tried to make claims. I've tried to file complaints and nothing happens. Nothing. Unless the person is actually tantamount to criminal. Like they have done something, completely stolen people's money, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then they'll start to look at it. But anyways, Law Society of Alberta, okay? I'll give this as an example. So you go to Law Society of Alberta, and you can see right here, information, instructions, all these kinds of things. Right here is complaints. Let's go find a lawyer first. And this is how you can determine whether or not the person that you are that you are using is a lawyer or not. Okay, so lawyer directory, I click on this and I say, who is this Mark? He claims to be a lawyer. So I'm going to just type in my last name because I know I'm not the only one. That's Holthe. But I'm going to click search here. When I click search, and you can do the same thing for every province. Each province has their own lawyers. So you can see there's two of us. I was officially called to the bar in Canada in 2005 as a lawyer. And so my information, I guess I better update it here. It doesn't have my firm name or my city. I guess I should update that. Chase is my cousin. He's up in Calgary. He's working with Norton Rose. But you can see here, I am, and if I click on here, it's because I have a virtual firm. But yeah, so there's the office number. You can see there's my email address. And the firm is really global. I'm a cloud-based firm, so I don't have a specific location. I do need to put the name of the firm, though. I'm not sure why that's not showing up. You can see other languages, Portuguese. Eu falo português. Então, eu indiquei que eu falava português aqui. All right. So anyways, as you can see here, current citations, none. Disciplinary history, none. Notices and reports, none. So I've never been reprimanded or disciplined by the Law Society. So that's the first step. Then the next step I want to show you, if I back out here, so we'll just keep backing out. One more, complaints right here. If Mark or any lawyer within my firm does something that is negligent on your file, if we do not represent you properly, if there are some issues, you click on this link, how to make a complaint right here, and I can tell you that I will find out about it immediately. And I will be under serious consequences if whatever I have done has been deemed to be negligent, or I have failed to properly represent someone to the standards of a lawyer in Alberta. And that process is taken seriously, and I sure hope the regulator for the consultants figures things out, because right now it's absolutely useless. All right? Okay. So now we're moving on, and I'm okay to be critical. Yes, I am. Okay, Diane, hello. Speaking of consultants, Diane was also in the course. Diane is one of the good ones, okay? And I will praise, and that's hilarious. Diane is here, and Thesura is also in here. We got all of these good guys. And Diane actually was also a consultant who took the course. And Diane's awesome. So we go here, we go back. I'm going to show you guys once again. You can access the course right here, and I'll open up Learn More. It'll take us to the page. And I can't remember if Thesaura, I think Thesaura was the group before the last one. And so when I go down here, you can see here's Diane right here. Her comments: Mark, myself and the girls will miss you at the office. Very happy to have taken this course. Feel super confident to help my clients moving forward. Looking forward to many EE applications and PRs. Thank you. We will stay in touch. Awesome. So Thesaura was actually before, but and of course I didn't share my screen with you guys, so you couldn't even see that. Okay. So if we scroll down to the bottom right here, you can see here's Diane right here, and then Thesaura was right before, and so here is Thesaura. He says hello. So both of them had taken the course. I love when you guys come back. I love when you guys come back. Okay, Sabi, hello. Amit's here, and Gurjit's over in Delhi. We've got Amit in Dubai, and you guys can see there just simply isn't time to get through everyone. You know, I do the best that I can to work through it. And we've got Kiyu says it's 30 degrees today, too hot. Well, right now, let's see here. I'm going to pull this up. Let's see what temperature it is right now. Right now in Lethbridge, if you guys can see this, I'll pull it back. Whoa, you can kind of see. It says, I'm having trouble showing it. Probably because I bumped it. So it's 7 degrees. There, it's kind of blurry. 7 degrees in Alberta, which for me on a winter, I'm pretty happy with 7 degrees. Okay, so there have been so many people that have posted so many questions. We covered a lot today. We did not get to a lot of people, and I recognize that. And many of the questions are related to express entry. There's many related to study permits, work permits, PNPs. Remember, okay, this live Q&A, I can never dive in deep enough to actually, review your application to make sure you're 100% on the right track. Not for you personally. The information that I share here is general information to help people, to guide them, to direct them, but not to provide specific legal advice. So if you have a question that didn't get answered today, then go over here, connect over with us. Book a consult with one of our lawyers. We would love to work with you. We would love to have you book a consult, and we can walk you through the process. We can help you. We can, and even with this, like I talked about before, our approach, the way we actually represent people, is really a collaborative review model. And we love this approach. So go over to the website. The links are in the description below, and check it out. All right. Okay, thank you so much, guys, everyone, for connecting in. Tejasveet says, hey, Mark, thanks for all the wonderful work that you do for all of us. Big, big smiley face sent. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to turn on the music, which is a that's the sign that we're going to start to wrap things up. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, the course, if we get enough people that are expressing interest, then I will open it up again. Access to all of the videos for life. This is not, the masterclass is only for 2 weeks, but you have access to everything for life. Go here, click on the link right now, get notified when the registration opens, leave your email, and I will then, when I have enough people interested, we will relaunch it. All right. I wish you guys all the very, very best today as you're navigating this crazy world that we call Canadian immigration. Take care, everyone.